Have you ever had the experience where you have a negative thought and then it just gets away from you? So you start thinking something negative and then it takes on a life of its own, even though you're trying very hard to be positive? Well, when thoughts get away from you, there's a certain mantra that I recommend, that I use, that really does a great job at neutralizing the negative charge on the thoughts, and also in allowing you to step into a higher vibration when you're ready. And so today, I wanted to share that mantra with you. All right, so what usually happens if we understand about the law of attraction and the power of positive thinking, and we really want to be positive, a lot of times what happens is we may have a negative thought and we recognize that it's a negative thought, which is good, but then we start fighting against it, which is unfortunate because the more we fight against a negative thought, the bigger it gets. In other words, telling yourself, don't think that, don't think that, don't think that, what we're doing is we're placing emphasis on think that. And so the more you tell yourself not to think a thought, the more you think it. Now, the problem with this is it causes a lot of frustration for people who understand the law of attraction and the power of positive thinking, because they find themselves in this catch-22 where they're stuck in a thought that they want to get out of, but they can't get out of it. So today I want to share a mantra with you. It may kind of fly in the face of conventional law of attraction wisdom, but hang with me because I found it does an excellent job at neutralizing the negative charge on the thought. Here's the mantra. I'm allowed to think this way for as long as I want to think this way. I'm allowed to feel this way for as long as I want to feel this way. Insert whatever you want. I'm allowed to behave this way for as long as I want to behave this way. That way of phrasing it, I'm allowed to for as long as I want to, is very freeing and very helpful, and I'll tell you why. If we find ourselves in a position where we're thinking a negative thought that we don't want to really be thinking, instead of fighting against it, telling ourselves that we're allowed to think it gives us more freedom, which makes us feel better. See, it doesn't feel very good to feel like you're not allowed to be negative. That's just as much of a limitation as being negative is not being allowed to be negative, because it means that every time you're not being positive, you're making a mistake and you can't feel good about yourself. And it's just a big mangled knot of nonsense. But telling yourself that you're allowed to feel that the way that you feel is great because it gives you the option. Listen, I want to be positive, but if I want to be negative in a moment, I'm allowed to. That's a lot more empowering. And the nice thing about this is it releases a lot of the negative charge on the negative thoughts, because instead of shaming yourself for having them, you accept that that's a valid choice, that you can choose to behave that way. Now, the second part of the mantra, for as long as I want to, is also very important because it sets a reminder in your mind that what you want to do is be positive. I really do want to be positive. I can be this way, I can feel negative for as long as I need to feel negative or want to feel negative, but I'm going to give myself the freedom to let go of it when I want to. And I found that adding that phrase on the end of it is kind of a reminder that, you know what, let me be mad right now and be okay with it. But then it starts to die down and then I remember I want to be positive, so I can find it easier to let go of the thought. So try that out. Next time, instead of fighting the thought and just watching it get bigger and bigger and bigger, just remind yourself, I'm allowed to think this way for as long as I want to think this way.